16 years old, just so excited for my future, just being a happy-go-lucky, normal teenager. Little is huge.
She's told the story too many times to count, taking us back to that year where the course of Tasha Schuh's life would change with one single step.
I was driving down Main Street with my girlfriend Amy, and we were joking and having a good time, and then all of a sudden she just looked over and she asked me, "Tasha, what is the worst thing that could ever happen to you?" And immediately I remembered the night before watching one of those celebrity fundraisers on TV, and they were featuring Christopher Reeve, sitting in his wheelchair, paralyzed from the neck down. And I just remember looking at him, thinking if that was ever my life, if I was ever paralyzed, confined to a wheelchair, couldn't walk, I couldn't do it. And so I did not hesitate to answer and telling her, "Amy, honestly, the worst thing that could ever happen to me would be for me to be paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair." 3 days later, on November 11th of 1997, that is where the doctors told me that I would be for the rest of my life.
It all started under the spotlight she loved.
This new passion began in my life.
You loved the stage.
Loved the stage, loved performing, loved singing, loved dancing, everything about it.
It was her junior year. Her small Wisconsin school performed The Wizard of Oz.
My main job was helping with scene changes, and that's really where my life changed dramatically. Directly behind me, they removed the cover off of this trapdoor, and I had no idea. And someone told me to move it out of the way, and I did. I took one step backward.
She fell 16 feet to the cement floor below and broke her neck. Doctors delivered what Tasha thought would be the worst news of her life. She'd never walk again and be bound to a wheelchair.
Especially being 16 years old, going on 17, I mean, that's the time of your life when you are dreaming and you're planning and you're thinking about all the possibilities. And it just seemed that when I took my last step backward, that all those dreams went through the trapdoor with me. When I had my accident, I thought my life was over, and I thought I would never be able to do anything that I had dreamt of doing.
Little did she know then her dreams weren't big enough. 2 college degrees, a beauty pageant title, and a book later, Tasha believes she is just getting started.
Overall, my message is hope. Sometimes we think maybe a month, a year is huge, and a minute or a second is little. But even a minute, a second, and a millisecond can be huge. To realize the value of a minute, ask someone who just missed the train. To realize the value of a second, just ask someone who avoided an accident. And to realize the value of even a millisecond, ask someone who just won the Olympic silver medal. I have learned in my journey that little is huge. And I've learned it's the little things in life that bring fullness. And I hope that you will see that today as I am sharing.
She is 32 now. She's traveled across the country telling her story.
Ironically, I have accomplished more sitting in this wheelchair than I ever thought I would do walking.
But it's not what happened on that day 15 years ago Tasha wants people to remember. It's all that's happened since.
Life is so wonderful if you just hold on and press through the difficult times. The best is on the other side.
Tasha got her first degree in communications, her second in theology. She considers that second college stint a turning point in her life and in her attitude.
At this point in my life, I really thought that if I was thinking that if I was going to be happy, that I needed to walk. And so I was really believing for a miracle. And it was at this point when I got the 4.0 GPA. From sitting in this wheelchair, I was like, my life, I think, can be good just sitting. And I began to really focus on living my life to the fullest here and now.
Another woman who knew just how to do that, a veteran reporter from WCCO with an infectious spunk and a smile that is still sorely missed.
Now, as many of you know, I am a huge Gopher fan, but I am also here as a...
Darcy was a huge mentor in your life.
Yes, she was. I mean, I just, still to this day, just know that I would not be where I am without her role in my life.
Darcy Collin reached out to Tasha right after her accident in high school. She was there, a shining star for that teenage girl, to see all that is possible. Darcy died in 2010. While it was far too soon, it was enough time to teach Tasha never to let her disability define her.
Faith plays such a big part
Yes.
in your story, and I think so many people, you know, in your shoes maybe would have turned their back on that. Why didn't you?
Well, I did it first. I mean, the only person that I could blame when I had my accident was God.
A play at a local church would change Tasha's mind. She calls it a divine appointment she is grateful she made.
Even after everything, I mean, you feel lucky every day. You feel blessed every day.
Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm the most blessed person on this earth. And I know people look at me and they think I'm crazy to even say that, to even think that. But I just have learned to choose to focus on what I have instead of what I've lost. We have got to love ourselves and be our biggest encouragers.
After spreading her message of hope through her speeches, she decided it was time for people to know the whole story.
My life has just turned out so well that the more I've began speaking and sharing my story and having to leave out so much of my story every time I spoke, people just kept saying, you have to write a book. You have to. It's not an option. You have to write a book.
For more than a year, Tasha worked with her old high school English teacher. She released My Last Step Backward this past summer. And in the middle of it all, another milestone.
The winner of our new Miss Wheelchair USA is Tasha Schuh, Miss Wisconsin.
I was just so excited and honored and humbled when they put the crown on my head.
Pretty surprised?
Yeah, I was. It was just, they said it was the tightest competition that they've ever had.
Tasha is the reigning Miss Wheelchair USA. Somehow she also found time to find her soulmate. She'll be married soon.
Another dream is coming true real soon for you.
Yes, yes. Oh, I just have to pinch myself at how blessed I truly am.
Tasha says we all face the same choice every day, whether or not we'll move forward. This is one woman who will not take another step back, determined to make the world a little brighter.
I really believe that this is where I've, supposed to have been. And so it's been awesome.
Life to the Max is brought to you by Lifetouch, photography for a lifetime.